Love him or hate him, there's no denying that Donald Trump is one of the most influential and controversial figures of our time. From a billionaire businessman to a reality TV star and ultimately the 45th President of the United States, his journey is a story of ambition, resilience, and unyielding confidence. But before we dive into his fascinating life story, let's take a moment to reflect on some of his most famous quotes, words that have inspired millions, sparked debates, and defined his larger-than-life persona. Let's get started. Make America Great Again. This iconic slogan from Trump's 2016 presidential campaign became synonymous with his political brand and resonated with millions of supporters. "You're fired!" A catchphrase from his time as the host of The Apprentice, this line became a cultural phenomenon and symbolized his no-nonsense persona. "I don't like losers," a statement that reflects Trump's competitive mindset and relentless drive for success. "We will build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me." A signature promise during his campaign that underscored his stance on border security. Donald J. Trump. A life of business, media, and politics. Donald John Trump is one of the most recognized figures of the 21st century, known for his work in real estate, his media personality, and his role as the 45th President of the United States. His life is a story of ambition, resilience, and controversy, marked by achievements in business, a global media presence, and a transformative, polarizing presidency. Early life and family background. Donald Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York City. The fourth of 5 children in a wealthy family. His father, Fred Trump, was a highly successful real estate developer who built low- and middle-income housing in New York. His mother, Mary Ann MacLeod Trump, emigrated from Scotland in the 1930s. Fred Trump's business acumen and Mary Ann's strong personality influenced Donald from a young age. Donald grew up alongside his siblings, Mary Ann, Fred Jr., Elizabeth, and Robert, in a comfortable household. However, Fred Trump emphasized the importance of discipline and hard work, which shaped Donald's worldview. During his early education at the Kew Forest School, Donald showed promise, but also developed a reputation for being assertive and at times unruly. At the age of 13, after exhibiting behavioral issues, his parents sent him to the New York Military Academy. The disciplined environment helped channel his energy into academics, sports, and leadership roles. Education and entry into business. After graduating from the Military Academy in 1964, Donald attended Fordham University in the Bronx for 2 years before transferring to the prestigious Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. Wharton offered him the opportunity to study real estate, a field in which his father excelled. He graduated in 1968 with a degree in economics. Following his education, Donald joined the Trump Organization, his father's real estate company. While Fred focused on residential projects in Brooklyn and Queens, Donald set his sights on Manhattan, believing the area held greater prestige and potential for high-profile projects. Early business career. In the 1970s, Donald Trump took on his first major project, the redevelopment of the struggling Commodore Hotel in Manhattan. With financing from his father and partnerships with major banks, Donald negotiated tax abatements and revamped the hotel into the luxurious Grand Hyatt Hotel. The success of this project solidified Donald's reputation as a savvy and ambitious real estate developer. Throughout the 1980s, Donald's business empire expanded rapidly. He developed and acquired properties that would become synonymous with his name. Among his most notable accomplishments during this period was the construction of Trump Tower, a 58-story skyscraper in Manhattan completed in 1983. Featuring luxury apartments, office space, and retail stores, Trump Tower became an iconic symbol of wealth and success. In addition to real estate, Donald ventured into casinos, purchasing several properties in Atlantic City, including the Trump Plaza, Trump Castle, and the Trump Taj Mahal, which opened in 1990 as the largest casino in the world. While these ventures showcased Donald's grand vision, they also highlighted financial vulnerabilities. The Atlantic City casinos struggled to remain profitable, leading to debt and bankruptcies in the 1990s. Personal life and marriages. Donald Trump's personal life has garnered significant public attention over the years. He has been married 3 times and has 5 children. Ivana Trump. Donald married Ivana Zelníková, a model from Czechoslovakia, in 1977. They had 3 children together. Donald Trump Jr., born 1977, who works in the family business. Ivanka Trump, born 1981, a prominent businesswoman and advisor during Donald's presidency. Eric Trump, born 1984, also involved in the Trump Organization. The couple divorced in 1992 amid allegations of infidelity. Marla Maples. In 1993, Donald married actress Marla Maples. They had 1 daughter, Tiffany Trump, born 1993. This marriage ended in divorce in 1999. Melania Trump. In 2005, Donald married Melania Knaus, a Slovenian model. Together they have 1 son, Baron Trump, born 2006. Donald is also a grandfather to several grandchildren, who are children of his older offspring. Branding and media presence. By the 1990s, Donald Trump's name had become a brand associated with luxury, wealth, and ambition. He licensed his name for products, hotels, and developments worldwide, earning millions in royalties. Despite financial struggles during this decade, including several corporate bankruptcies, Donald continued to rebuild his empire. In 2004, Donald became a television star by hosting the reality TV show The Apprentice. The program, which revolved around business challenges and eliminations, became a massive hit. His catchphrase, "You're fired," became a pop culture phenomenon. The show's success boosted Donald's public profile and reinforced his image as a decisive and successful entrepreneur. Political career. Although Donald Trump had expressed interest in politics as early as the 1980s, he didn't formally enter the political arena until 2015, when he announced his candidacy for the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Running as a Republican, his campaign was centered on the slogan, "Make America Great Again." Key promises included strengthening immigration laws, including building a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, revitalizing American manufacturing and job creation, renegotiating trade deals to prioritize American interests, taking a tough stance on China and illegal immigration. Despite initial skepticism, Donald emerged as the Republican frontrunner, defeating experienced politicians. In the general election, he faced Hillary Clinton, the Democratic nominee and former Secretary of State. Against polling expectations, Donald won the Electoral College and became the 45th President of the United States, inaugurated on January 20th, 2017. Presidency, 2017 to 2021. Challenges and controversies. Donald Trump's presidency brought a distinct style of governance that disrupted traditional norms and policies. He implemented transformative changes in areas like economic policy, immigration, and international relations. However, his administration also faced criticism and numerous controversies. Economic policies. A hallmark of Trump's presidency was his focus on revitalizing the U.S. economy. His Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 lowered corporate tax rates from 35% to 21% and aimed to simplify the tax code for individuals. Proponents argued these changes spurred business investment and job creation, while critics claimed they disproportionately benefited the wealthy. Under his leadership, the U.S. economy initially experienced strong growth, with unemployment rates reaching historic lows in 2019. The stock market also hit record highs during his presidency, reflecting confidence among investors. However, the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 severely disrupted the economy, causing significant job losses and a deep recession. Trump's response to the pandemic included enacting the CARES Act, a $2.2 trillion relief package aimed at supporting businesses and individuals. Despite these efforts, his administration faced criticism for inconsistencies in handling the pandemic and downplaying the severity of the virus. Immigration and border security. Trump made immigration reform a cornerstone of his agenda. His controversial zero-tolerance policy led to the separation of migrant families at the U.S.-Mexico border, drawing widespread condemnation. The construction of the border wall, a central promise of his 2016 campaign, became symbolic of his presidency. By the end of his term, over 450 miles of wall had been completed, funded primarily through redirected military spending. In 2017, Trump signed an executive order known as the travel ban, which restricted entry to the U.S. from several predominantly Muslim countries. Although it faced numerous legal challenges, a revised version of the ban was upheld by the Supreme Court in 2018. Foreign policy and international relations. Donald Trump pursued an America First foreign policy that sought to prioritize U.S. interests. He renegotiated trade deals, including the replacement of NAFTA with the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. His administration also imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, leading to a protracted trade war aimed at reducing the trade deficit and addressing intellectual property theft. Trump's relationship with traditional U.S. allies was often strained, as he criticized NATO members for not meeting defense spending commitments. However, his direct engagement with adversaries, such as North Korea, was unprecedented. He met with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un 3 times in an effort to denuclearize the Korean peninsula, though substantive agreements remained elusive. In the Middle East, Trump's administration brokered the Abraham Accords, a series of normalization agreements between Israel and several Arab nations, including the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. This was widely regarded as a significant diplomatic achievement. Judicial legacy. One of Trump's most lasting impacts was his reshaping of the federal judiciary. He appointed 3 Supreme Court justices, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, cementing a conservative majority that would influence rulings for decades. In addition, his administration appointed over 200 federal judges to lower courts, significantly altering the judicial landscape. Impeachments and controversies. Donald Trump became the 3rd U.S. president to be impeached. In 2019, the House of Representatives charged him with abuse of power and obstruction of Congress over his request for Ukraine to investigate political rival Joe Biden. The Senate acquitted him in early 2020. In 2021, Trump faced a second impeachment after the January 6th Capitol riot, when his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol in an attempt to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. He was charged with incitement of insurrection, but was again acquitted by the Senate. Legacy. Influence and divisions. Donald Trump's presidency fundamentally altered American politics and culture. His legacy is both celebrated and criticized, reflecting the deep divisions he fostered and exploited. Impact on the Republican Party. Trump's presidency transformed the Republican Party into a populist movement centered around his leadership and policies. His emphasis on nationalism, economic protectionism, and skepticism of global institutions reshaped the party's platform. Even after leaving office, Trump remained the de facto leader of the GOP, with many candidates in the 2022 and 2024 elections seeking his endorsement. However, Trump's influence also created fractures within the Republican Party. Traditional conservatives and establishment figures expressed concern about his rhetoric and divisive policies, leading to debates about the party's future direction. Cultural and social polarization. Donald Trump's presidency amplified cultural and political divides in the United States. His rhetoric, often described as confrontational and unfiltered, resonated with his supporters but alienated others. The rise of Trump's political movement coincided with an increase in political activism on both the right and left, intensifying debates on issues such as race, immigration, and climate change. Trump's use of social media, particularly Twitter, became a defining feature of his presidency. His frequent tweets bypassed traditional media channels, allowing him to communicate directly with his supporters. Critics argued this approach undermined institutional norms, while supporters praised his transparency. Judicial and policy legacy. Trump's appointments to the judiciary will likely be among his most enduring contributions. The conservative majority in the Supreme Court has already begun to issue landmark rulings on issues such as abortion, religious freedom, and gun rights, reflecting Trump's impact on American law and society. In terms of policy, Trump's focus on deregulation, tax reform, and reshaping trade relations had lasting economic implications. His administration's rollback of environmental protections and withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement sparked debate about the balance between economic growth and environmental responsibility. Recent developments, the 2024 election and beyond. Following his defeat in the 2020 election, Trump continued to wield significant influence within the Republican Party. His refusal to concede and his unsubstantiated claims of widespread election fraud galvanized his base, but led to widespread criticism from political opponents and some members of his own party. In 2024, Donald Trump announced his candidacy for the presidency, vowing to finish what we started and restore his vision for America. His campaign focused on issues such as border security, economic revitalization, and draining the swamp in Washington. Despite facing legal challenges and ongoing investigations, Trump's popularity among his core supporters remained strong. The 2024 election. In the 2024 U.S. presidential election, Trump faced significant opposition from Democratic and independent candidates. His campaign emphasized achievements during his first term, including tax cuts, judicial appointments, and the Abraham Accords. He also criticized the Biden administration's handling of inflation, immigration, and foreign policy. After a contentious campaign season, Donald J. Trump emerged as the projected winner of the 2024 election. His victory marked an extraordinary political comeback, cementing his place as one of the most resilient and polarizing figures in American history. Conclusion: a complex legacy. Donald Trump's life and career exemplify a unique blend of ambition, resilience, and controversy. As a businessman, he built a global brand that symbolized luxury and success. As a media personality, he captivated audiences with his larger-than-life persona. As president, he reshaped American politics, leaving a legacy that will be studied and debated for generations. Whether celebrated as a disruptor who championed the interests of everyday Americans or criticized as a polarizing figure who deepened societal divisions, Trump's impact on the United States is undeniable. His return to the presidency in 2024 marks another chapter in a remarkable story that continues to shape the nation's political landscape.